But basically in this presentation I just shared, there's links to examples of screencasts and then how to download the extension. I can show you that in a minute. And then usually when you download it, it might ask you to connect with Google. And I've added some pictures here of what students will see the first time they log in, because students can also use it. So what it looks like when they're connecting with Google. But basically, if you don't have the extension, you can just do a search here or at the top on a new tab. Search for Chrome Web Store. And then once you go there, you can just do a search for Screencastify. And then you'll see, you should see once you click on it, a button to add the extension. I already have it, so I don't see that. But you would just click on the Add to Chrome. And then you would see a little pop-up come out up here that says, yes, add extension. So if you need to do that, go ahead and take a minute to do that. Then let me know when you're done. So once you're ready to use the extension, well, first let me just give you some ideas about what you might use it for. I think it's, well, Screencastify can be used to record anything on your screen. So you could record, you know, a presentation that you're reading to your students, or you could go to a specific website, like maybe you're explaining the directions on how to find classwork for the week. Or you could use the webcam to record yourself instead of what's on your computer screen. So you could make, you know, a welcome message, a tutorial, a mini lesson, anything like that. And your students can use it to showcase work that they've done on their computer or to record themselves. So basically, once you're ready to use it, I'll show, you want to click on the extension on the little arrow icon. And if you don't see it at the top, you might need to click on the little puzzle piece and find Screencastify. It should be in alphabetical order. And so if yours is gray, if you see it gray, you want to click on it to make the little push pin blue. That means that it's pinning it to the extensions at the top.
Oh, okay, good. Let me see. Okay, now the push pin is blue.
Okay, great. And so now look for it at the top where your extensions are. Do you see the little arrow now on your screen?
Yes, it's a red arrow. Yes, red and white arrow. Now click on that.
Yeah, click on it and see if you see the same thing I do with the three options, browser, desktop, or webcam. You might be prompted to connect to Google first.
It says sign in with Google. So I think I'm a little bit behind.
Yeah, so then go ahead and do that. And so you might get something that looks like this, where you sign in with Google, and then it'll ask you just a couple questions. Sometimes it'll ask you, yes, allow it to connect to Google Drive, and you want to say yes.
Yes,
because
okay, I'm allowing
it's going to save your videos to Google Drive.
Okay, and I agree to their terms.
Yes, I'll give you a minute to finish answering all those questions. It might ask you, are you a teacher, or something along those lines.
Yes, okay. And it's finishing up, I think. Now it says, say cheese. What's that mean? Enable the mic and the webcam?
Yes, I would enable both of those.
Okay, please click allow. Okay, enable annotations, enable tools, okay. Good to go. Okay, it says I'm all set. Now, how do I close the page? It says you can close the page.
Oh, you can just close the tab. Yeah, like at the top, like whichever one opens up, just click the X to close it.
Okay, now I have to come back to you.
Okay.
Okay. I guess I did it. I'm not sure.
Okay, so it should be, it sounds like you're connected now. And so what I'm going to do now is I'll show you just a couple examples of things you can use, the different ways of recording. And so the first one, like I had my Google Classroom here, I might want to record the whole desktop, like if I'm recording an explanation of what the kids are going to do this week. So if I'm ready to record, I go to the little symbol for Screencastify, the little arrow, and then you have browser tab, desktop, and webcam as options. If I choose desktop, that means I can go from one window to another. I can go to different tabs. So if you need to be going, beyond Classroom, I would use desktop. And so I'm going to click on that and then select desktop and get recording. And you have some options here. And if you click show more options, you get more. But basically, I want to have my microphone on. And as I talk, I see this little green little bar moving. So I know that my microphone is working. If you embed webcam, that's going to also add, it's going to use your webcam to record you. So it'll add like a little picture of you on the corner of your screen. If you want to, you can show drawing tools. I usually don't use them, but I'll turn it on just so that you can see what it looks like. And then when you're ready, you click record. And if it's desktop, then it's going to show you, is this what you want to record? This is my screen right here. So I'm going to select it and then click share. And then it usually counts down 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you can see, so it's counting down. And then I would start recording. So I'd say, hello, students, this week you have to do this assignment on Monday. And then I might click on it and, show, oh, then you're going to go to this link. And so since it's desktop, I can move back and forth between different tabs. And then when I'm done recording, I can go back to that little icon at the top, back to the little arrow. And now do you see I have a few options? I can click the square to stop recording, or I could pause if I need to grab something like a book to read or whatever I'm showing the students. When I'm ready, I can unpause, and now it's recording again. And then when I'm done, I can click stop. You could also start over. You could trash it if you didn't like that recording, but I'll just click stop so you could see what you get when you're done. So now it automatically starts playing, but it's muted. So I could just click anywhere on the screen to unmute, or I could go down here and unmute. Oh, then you're gonna go to this link. And so since I could pause the recording right here, and so it shows you a preview of what you recorded. And if you don't like it, you could click the little trash can to delete it. If it's something you want to keep, I like to rename it just so that it's easy to find. So maybe I'll put like Google Classroom directions. And then once you're done recording, it usually shows a little progress bar, like as it's saving. Mine already finished, so I just see get shareable link. But let's say I wanted to copy this and send it in an email or something. I just clicked there and it automatically copied it. And then I could paste it in Google Classroom or an email or whatever. I could also push this out to Classroom. So if I wanted to add this to my directions, I could choose my class, and then maybe I'll make it an announcement since it's the directions for the week. And then it automatically adds the video, and then I could just type something like, please watch this video, and post it. So you don't have to change anything as far as like who can view the video. Everything's ready to go. As soon as you push it out, the students can see it. Any questions about that?
No, great.
Some more options you have here, which is really handy for quick videos. At the very end, I spent a lot of time moving my mouse over to click on that button to stop. You can actually, kind of skip through your video if I pull this little circle. And then if I wanted to just cut this off, just the end or something at the beginning, I could drag these scissors up to the point that I want to cut off. So it's only going to keep the area that's pink at the top. And then I would save the trim. And it doesn't do it right away. It kind of gives you a chance to say, uh-oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. But if you want to save it, you can save the trim. And now it'll be just that piece that I wanted.
Oh, nice.
And then I would start recording. Another option here, you might publish to YouTube. I never do that, but some people like to directly publish to YouTube. Or you could just download the video. And since we have a premium version, you could also export audio only. So if you need just an audio recording, maybe for a podcast or something like that, you could do that. Otherwise, I would export as MP4 for a video file.
Oh, okay.
Some people like to, if you do a really short recording, you could export as a GIF. So have you ever seen like when someone makes directions and then for each step they have like click here and they just record themselves clicking on one button and then the next? You could just make a GIF that way. So you would export as GIF in that case. I'm just gonna close this tab. So if you're saving it, you could always just close the tab because I already know it saved it. If I wanted to delete it, I could as well, but I'm just gonna close the tab and then I'll show you where I can find this if I need it again. So where you can find it is now that you've connected to Google, I have a million folders in here. It automatically creates a folder called Screencastify. So anything you record will be in there. And you might see it, what did I call it? Google Classroom. Here it is, GC directions. Sometimes it appears red at first, especially if you make a really long video. While it's processing the video, but it usually takes like 10 minutes max, I feel like. Another place you can find it is by clicking that extension. So if I click on that extension, I see this little play button. And when I mouse over it, it says my recordings or something like that. And that's where I could find all of my videos. So it saves in 2 places. Let's look at another example. So another thing you can do is just record one tab. And I used to have my students do this. For example, they would make how-to books. And so here's my how to take care of a cat. And so, or maybe you have a presentation ready and you're just gonna, talk over it. So what you would do is go up to the extension. And then you could choose just one browser tab. And this one has another option. You can record just tab audio. So let's say that's useful if you're recording, like maybe you have a subscription to BrainPop or some other thing that maybe your kids don't have access to. You could just record the video audio and not use your microphone if you wanted to record the video that way. I probably wouldn't have both of these on because it might cause an echo. So, but usually if it's just you explaining something, I would just use the microphone. I forgot to show the drawing tools earlier. So I'll go ahead and record showing that. And so I'll just do a few seconds. So now it's counting down. And then here's my webcam. I forgot to mention you could actually move this around, or at least, yeah, I could drag it around. So if it's in the way, especially like when you click present, maybe it'll be in the way of your text. So you might want to move it somewhere else. And you could always close it if it's too much in the way. And so then I would talk, and if I happen to move to another tab, it tells me that it's not recording this tab. So it's only recording that one that I started at. Then the tools are down here. They look different than I remember. But basically you have a pen tool so that you could scribble, circle things if you need to. You could clear the screen. I know there's a different eraser too. And I know there's a spotlight in here too as well. Oh yeah, the mouse, so if I click, it's red wherever I click. And then fireworks, that's new. Well, that's cool. Anyway, so once I'm done, I'm ready to stop. I'm gonna go up there again and I'll click stop. And so now I just kind of want to skip through and see when I switch tabs, did it record that tab? And it doesn't look like it, right? It just kept recording the one tab I started on. So that's that, how to record just one tab. And the last way to record is just using the webcam. So if I click webcam only, there's not that many options. You could just change the countdown speed. So when I record, it's just recording me. So maybe I would use this option if I'm doing a morning message, like my kids, welcome, it's Monday. Why don't you tell me something you did this weekend and something you're grateful for? And then stop recording down here. And then you get the same options. So maybe you want to use that, if you're teaching with like a whiteboard behind you or something like that, just the webcam. Okay, another thing you can do, since we have the premium version, is use the editor. So if you finish recording a video, you can say open in editor. So I'll go ahead and do that. And so it gives you more options. So here it automatically puts my video in here. And you could also click add media to add some more. So anything in my drive I can add, or I can upload things from my computer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show that. So I'm gonna search for that Screencastify folder because I know everything gets saved in there. There they are. So here's my how to take care of a cat. There's the directions. And I could click a shift to select multiple if they're next to each other, or you could hold down control to select some other ones that are not next to each other. And then when you're done selecting all your clips, you could click select. And yes, I want to put those in here. Or you could just do that one clip, but I just want to show all the options. So now what you can do, since I have multiple clips, I could actually click and drag them to move them around to change the order. You could cut, crop, zoom, blur, and add text. And you can also add a title. So you might have noticed when I go to add media and I go to title, it added this here though. I want to move that to the beginning. And then you could just click and change the title. There's kind of limited text options, but what you can do is if you highlight the text, then you could change the location with these two buttons. So this one changes the alignment left and right. So here I can move it to the left, and then this one moves it up and down. So I could move it to the top or to the bottom. And then if you're going to change the style of the text, you just have 6 options. And then the size of the text as well, there's just, just a few options. You can add text anywhere in the video with this text button here. And so it should, let's see, once I click somewhere, then it adds it. So now you see this little pink bubble, but you can actually click and drag it. So if I put it in the wrong place, I can move it around. And there's these 6 little dots on the sides of it. That means I can click and drag to extend the text. So I could even have something throughout the whole video if I wanted something to appear. If you don't see, it looks like it came down at this corner, but if you don't see it, you could click on the slide and then you'll see that little cursor where you could, type your text. And now I can't see it. So what I can do is click to highlight and then click on the little A to change the color. So I said this is a test. Another thing you could do is crop. So if you really want to zoom in on something, like let's go to this clip. Maybe I just want to zoom in on this part. I don't need all that part on the side. So you would click on this crop button, and then you can adjust how much you want to zoom in. And it's going to delete the rest that's not in this highlighted area. So if I click done over here, now it has this zoomed in version. Maybe I just wanted to zoom in on a specific part. If that's the case, or if you want to cut something out, basically for both those scenarios, I would use the scissors. So maybe I was talking and I can click the space bar or this to play my video to preview. But let's say I made a mistake here in the middle. I would click so that this is highlighted in yellow. And then if I click the scissors, I can see that it cut my clip. And then I could keep playing the video to see, okay, where's the mistake over? And then now I'll click the scissors again. And so it cut it out. I have this little piece that now I can delete. And so to delete that piece, you just highlight it, and then you can click the little trash can, or you could click the backspace on your computer. You can also zoom. There's just two more tools. So let's say I find something in here where I want to zoom in. Let's see. Here's a good place, some cute cat pictures. So let's say I want to zoom in here. I find the place. When I clicked here, you see there's a little white line that remains. So let's say I want to zoom in right there. I click where I want to zoom, and then I click the zoom button, and now it adds this little green symbol here. And so I could move this around. I could just click and drag to decide where I want to zoom in. And then I could change like how fast or how slow it zooms in and out. You could adjust, how far do you want it to zoom in? And you could also, when you click on the little green symbol, you could also extend it. So how long do you want it to zoom in? Now this is only for one clip. So I can't have this zoomed in the whole time. I would have to add more of these. But let's see what it looks like. So to test it out, I would move my cursor to wherever I want to start playing, and then just click, and then click the little play button.
Fireworks, that's neat.
So you can see now how it's zooming in and then zooming out.
There again.
Any questions? Yeah, you can go ahead and unmute if you have a question.
No questions.
Okay, cool. The last part that I wanted to show was how to blur, and that's super cool if you are wanting to publish a video and you have student information in it that you don't want to share. So you could blur out any private information. I'll just go back to this one. So maybe I needed to blur out something here. I could choose the spot where I need to blur and then click the blur button. And so maybe I'm going to blur out the student's face or something like that. And so you could adjust to just blur the part that you want to blur. And then again, if I click on it, I could stretch it out to make it longer or shorter. You could also move this around if I accidentally put it in the wrong spot. And then if I need to edit it, I think you could just click on it and it opens the side panel again. So I could lower the intensity of the blur or make it stronger, depending on, maybe there's a student ID. I need it to blur all the way so no one can read it. You can also add multiple blurs. So if I add a new blur, maybe there was something over here I needed to blur out. And then when you're done, just click done right there. And that was about it for that. And so if you do use the editing, I think they've added a lot of cool features. All you'd have to do when you're done is click export, and then export as MP4 would save it on your computer, or you could export to Google Drive and it would go in that Screencastify folder. It automatically saves, but if you're not done editing and you want to come back later, I would recommend exporting it anyway, just in case something happens, because if you make a new recording and then you say open an editor, it's going to replace whatever's in this area. You can only work on one project at a time. So I would definitely export just to make sure everything is saved, and then you could import it again. Before we finish up, I just wanted to show one more thing. Let's see. Oh, on that slide presentation. Having trouble grabbing this. So after the steps here, there's also keyboard commands, shortcuts. So if you don't want to go all the way to the top to click the stop, a lot of times you can stop with just Alt-Shift-R to stop recording. So that might be handy for students. And then there is one more thing. Okay, well, here it is. So under options, you want to uncheck this pause recordings on low disk space, because sometimes students will be recording and then after 2 minutes, their video will automatically stop if they have this turned on. So that's something definitely that I would turn off if it's turned on by default. And then at the very end of this presentation, we put some more resources here, some more ideas for what to use Screencastify for, and our coaching request form. if you want some more help with Screencastify. And that's about it.